Mr. Poilievre, can you justify your statement that you made a statement that the government is getting more richer and Canadians are getting more poor and poorer?
Prices up, rents up, rates up, debts up, taxes up, time's up for Justin Trudeau. That's how I summarize it. Trudeau wants to quadruple the tax, quadruple the carbon tax. Pierre Poilievre and the common sense conservatives will axe the tax.
Few years ago, the cost of ticket was $1,300 on an average economy class. And today the same ticket price is $3,000 approximately, $2,800 to $3,000.
She's saying she promised that last year. Now she's saying she'll never balance the budget. They're admitting it. And that leaves everyone else with less. The more government spends, the more things cost. And so Justin Trudeau and his bureaucracy and contractors are richer than ever. But the people are impoverished. We have tent cities in every major center in Canada.
Recently you made a statement on the Windsor battery plants also. Why you said that government must come clean about the electric vehicle battery plant. What are the deals there?
The people are poor and the government is rich.
So Mr. Poilievre, next 3 years approximately 900 million of mortgages are coming up for the renewal. So who is thinking about Canadians, those who have to renew their mortgages?
We find out that 1,600 of the jobs are going to foreign replacement workers that will push aside union workers from Canada and give the money to South Koreans who will take it back to their country. I'm not saying that. The Windsor police have said it. These are common sense plans to bring home the Canada that we know and love.
Mr. Poilievre, welcome to our show once again.
Good to be with you, Nitin. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Poilievre, we have to discuss, Canadians want to know about the mini budget which government presented a few days ago and about the fall economic statement. How can you summarize that for us and for the Canadians?
Well, very simple. Prices up, rents up, rates up, debts up, taxes up, time's up for Justin Trudeau. That's how I summarize it.
Mr. Poilievre, I'll read the government statement on that, which after the budget they said that this budget, the federal economic statement will support Canadians across the country. They also said that making mortgages more affordable, building more homes and faster, and cracking down on junk fees. So how will you see this statement of the government after they presented the budget?
Well, first, they're making things less affordable by adding $20 billion of new inflationary spending that bids up the goods we buy and the interest we pay. Canadians will pay higher inflation than they would otherwise have paid. It's not just me that's saying that. All the senior economists now agree that government deficits are driving inflation, and Scotiabank says that deficits are responsible for 2 percentage points of the increases in rates. So 2 percentage points equals $700 a month in extra mortgages that people are paying because of this Prime Minister's deficits. Yesterday made that worse. Housing, they're just promising the same programs they've had for 8 years that have failed to build. Housing costs have doubled since they've started these programs. Why would giving those same failed programs even more money reverse the damage they've already done? And then junk fees, well, I'll tell you, the biggest junk fee there is the carbon tax. And a common sense conservative government would get rid of the tax. Trudeau wants to quadruple the tax. Quadruple the carbon tax. Pierre Poilievre and the common sense conservatives will axe the tax.
You're talking about axe the tax. So
yes.
Only the carbon tax you want to axe, or other taxes also you have an eye which you want to axe?
I will axe the carbon tax, but I'll also be lowering income tax so that people bring home more of each dollar they earn and hard work actually pays off.
There are reports in the media that next year Canadians will have to pay $52.4 billion in interest charges. How correct is that?
It's true. And that means we will be spending more on interest payments for the national debt than we spend on health care. Twice as much as we spend on national defense. It is becoming, it's the fastest growing item in the budget right now is interest on debt. That means more money for bankers and bondholders and less money for nurses and soldiers. It's nonsense, and it's why Justin Trudeau is not worth the cost.
Mr. Pollier, balance of budget, because every time, every elections, that remains an issue. And every single party, they say, we will balance the budget. And now Deputy PM said by 2028, we can balance the budget. But when there is more debt, how can any party, any government can balance the budget? So your statement on balancing the budget?
Well, first of all, she's no longer saying she'll balance the budget in 2028. She's saying she promised that last year. Now she's saying she'll never balance the budget. They're admitting it. So my common sense plan caps spending and cuts waste in order to bring down the deficit and balance the budget. That's the only way to lower interest rates and inflation and protect the financial future of Canadians.
Mr. Poilievre, can you justify your statement that you made a statement that the government is getting more richer and Canadians are getting more poor and poorer? So how can you justify your statement?
Well, because the government now consumes the biggest share of the economy of any time in the last 30 years. And that leaves everyone else with less. The more government spends, the more things cost. And so Justin Trudeau and his bureaucracy and contractors are richer than ever. But the people are impoverished. We have tent cities in every major center in Canada. We have 7 million Canadians who don't get enough food. A record smashing 2 million are going to food banks every month. This is, 9 in 10 young people say they'll never be able to afford a home. Homelessness is up 6%. Our GDP per capita is down below where it was 6 years ago. Our economy is now shrinking while the American economy is booming. The people are poor and the government is rich.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Poilievre, next 3 years, approximately 900 million of mortgages are coming up for the renewal. So, who is thinking about Canadians, those who have to renew their mortgages because interest rates are so high? So, what is your plan for that, and what is your statement on these mortgage renewals which are coming up for next 3 years?
The IMF says that Canada is the country with the greatest risk of a mortgage crisis, as 2/3 or $900 billion of mortgages come up for renewal at higher rates over the next 3 years. Scotiabank says that 2 percentage points of the mortgage rates are the result of excessive government spending, which drives up interest rates. 2% equals $700 a month or $8,400 a year in higher mortgage costs. My common sense plan caps spending and cuts waste to balance the budget and bring down interest rates and inflation so Canadians can keep their homes.
Mr. Poilievre, the overseas travel and the domestic travel has become more expensive day by day, year by year. If I talk about only India, same thing with the other countries also, the airlines which they operate. Few years ago, the cost of ticket was $1,300 on an average economy class. And today the same ticket price is $3,000 approximately, $2,800 to $3,000. So from $1,300 to $3,000 in couple of years. And the travel is so expensive, family of 4, if they have to travel, husband, wife, 2 kids. So cost is approximately 3,000 times 4, $12,000 only at to and fro to India. Not affordable. So do our governments or our politicians, they know about it, how to manage these expenses and from where to get the money?
Well, 2 things. One, we need to get rid of the carbon tax, which drives up jet fuel prices, and all of that gets passed on in your ticket cost. Second, we need more competition in the airline sector because there's been more mergers and consolidations that the federal government has allowed. There's less competition. That means that the airlines do not need to fight for your business with lower prices and better services. A Poilievre-led government will push for more competition so you have more choice, better prices and service to get you where you're going.
Mr. Poilievre, recently you made a statement on the Windsor battery plants also. Why you said that government must come clean about the electric vehicle battery plant. What are the deals there?
It's a $15 billion grant to a single battery plant. This is the biggest government grant to any company in the history of Canada. We find out that 1,600 of the jobs are going to foreign replacement workers that will push aside union workers from Canada and give the money to South Koreans who will take it back to their country. Why are we giving our tax dollars to foreign replacement workers? My common sense plan will ensure that every Canadian tax dollar spent on economic development will go to Canadians and Canadians alone.
So you are saying that these jobs will not go to Canadians, they are going overseas?
I'm not saying that. The Windsor police have said it. They got a visit from the South Korean ambassador who said that 1,600 Koreans are coming to take the jobs. And he met with them to ask for help and guidance in how he can connect them with housing. I've spoken with the mayor of Windsor. He confirms it. Now the numerous media reports have confirmed it as well. So I'm not alleging it. It's now a fact. And we're asking Trudeau, release the contract. You said that you're spending this $15 billion to create jobs for Canadians. Now we find out it's going to South Koreans. Why would we send our money for jobs for other people in different countries? It's our money. The South Koreans don't spend their tax dollars on paychecks for Canadians. It's nuts, especially now when our people can't even afford paying the bill.
Your final message to Canadians, Mr. Poilievre.
Look, after 8 years of Trudeau, everything is broken. He's not worth the cost. Life costs more, work doesn't pay, housing costs have doubled, crime and chaos, drugs and disorder are common in our streets. My common sense plan will bring home lower prices by axing the carbon tax, capping spending, and cutting waste to bring down inflation and interest rates. It'll bring home powerful paychecks with lower income tax that rewards hard work, and with a Blue Seal standard that allows brilliant immigrant professionals to take a test, prove they are qualified, and get to work in all of the Canada in their profession. It'll bring homes that we can afford by requiring cities permit 15% more home building, by selling off federal land and buildings, and by speeding up financing. And it will bring home safety with jail and not bail for repeat violent offenders, with treatment and not drugs to bring our addicts home drug-free, and with stronger border controls to keep guns and drugs out and stolen cars in. We'll inspect the packages so that no longer do people have their cars stolen and shipped overseas. These are common sense plans to bring home the Canada that we know and love. Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you, Mr. Poilievre. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Great to be with you, my friend. Let's bring
you.
it home.